segment's gonna hit different because we've got an audience full of teachers, okay? So, just wanna preface that. So they all know, you all know, back to school's around the corner. So you may be busy stocking up on binders and new running shoes, but according to Sleep Country, if you really want to ace the assignment, there's another important factor to consider.
Here to tell us all about the importance of sleep when it comes to classroom success, please welcome our friend Dr. Sheila Wijayasinghe and the National CEO of the Canadian Mental Health Association, Margaret Eaton. Thanks for being here. Sheila, anyone who watches this show knows that I talk a lot about prioritizing my sleep, and I try to do that as well for my son. So let's talk about kids in particular. How important is sleep to their overall health?
Absolutely important. So we all know when we lose a night of sleep, it's really hard on all of us, right? But for kids, it's especially important because sleep allows us to build the foundations for good physical and mental health. Specifically, immune system is rested during sleep. We consolidate all the information we gather during the day. For kids, growth hormone and brain development hormones are released at nighttime when they sleep. So if they're not getting proper sleep, it's going to affect them. And in the long term effects, we actually can see increased rates of diabetes and heart disease in kids who are chronically underslept as well.
Wow.
That's big.
Yeah. It is.
I am a reformed sleep deprivationist. I don't think I slept almost at all through my 20s and 30s. Okay, so let's talk about that effect on mental health, especially for kids.
So it's huge for mental health. We often focus on physical, but mental health is so crucial, especially all the teachers may know this, that you see it in school when kids haven't been slept properly. And so they'll see changes in terms of their ability to focus, their ability to problem solve and make decisions. Interacting with their peers may be affected as well in the long run, and that's really crucial to their school age. We also see conditions like mood and anxiety disorders also increase, and the symptoms increase when they're not sleeping well. And so all of those factors together, and there have also been studies that show that the brain development in children actually changes when sleep isn't there, and we see structural changes in the brain. And so mood and mental health and ability to learn is very much affected if sleep is affected.
Wow. Okay, so Margaret, you're the National CEO of the Canadian Mental Health Association. So let's talk about how are Canadian kids doing when it comes to their mental health?
Well, our sponsor, Sleep Country, did a poll with Leger, and they found out that 77% of parents actually say that their kids are getting pretty good sleep. But it means about 23% are not really sleeping that well. And we know that 1 in 5 children, about 20%, actually have mental illness. So there's a huge correlation between sleep and mental health, as Dr. Sheila was saying, but it's also something to keep in mind as a symptom. It could be a warning sign. If your child is not getting enough sleep, that could be because of anxiety or fear. Or if they're sleeping too much, it could be a sign of depression. So we really encourage parents to talk to their kids, find out how they're sleeping, and start that conversation about mental health.
Mm-hmm. I've been really lucky to have been blessed, I think purely by chance, to have a child that sleeps very, very well. But we also keep her on the same sleep schedule all year long as well. So this is where the rubber hits the road. For the kids who are not already back at school, Dr. Sheila, what should parents be doing to get kids ready for back to school when it comes to sleep?
All right, so I'm so glad that we're talking about this. It reminds me with my own kids too to do this, but we have to start preparing for school about 2 to 3 weeks before school starts. So right now would be really good now. And so what we do, so our circadian rhythm, our sleep-wake cycle is very dependent specifically around the wake time every day. So first start with that. So 2 to 3 weeks ahead, set your wake time that you know that you're gonna need to do to get your kids ready. So is it 7 a.m.? That's when the kids wake up. You're gonna have some hard days for the first couple of days when you do that, but then gradually you're gonna adjust their bedtime and they'll get the right amount of sleep. So start now, and then you'll be ready for a good start when school starts.
Okay. Easier said than done.
I know, it's easier said than done. It is easier. I know.
Parents want to sleep in too.
I know.
Anyway, so let's talk about, Margaret, how parents can help promote better sleep for their kids for the entire school year.
Yes, well, it's so important to have that bedtime routine. So going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time each day, if you can do it, even on weekends, if you can keep that same schedule. Things like relaxing before bedtime. So taking a moment to have a bath or a shower, reading together, singing together, all of these things create that quiet atmosphere. And of course, screen time. If you can reduce screen time, that really makes a difference. 45 minutes before the lights go out, turn off the screens. And finally, having a really nice sleep environment. So a cool room, a dark room, and comfortable, cozy bed for your child, all conducive to better sleep.
Dr. Sheila, I think a lot of parents are even confused a little bit about how much sleep their child should be getting depending on their age. So can you just break that down?
Sure. So for school-age kids, so when we start out in kindergarten, age 4 to 5 years old, we're thinking about 10 to 13 hours of total sleep in a 24-hour period. So that includes naps as well. Our sleep needs decrease as we get older. So 6 to 12 years old is about 9 to 12 hours, and then into teenage years and into adulthood is 8 to 10 hours.
Got it.
Let's talk about when the kids are not getting enough sleep. How do we know that they're not?
Yeah, so we can, as adults, we're able to sort of express it, but kids may not express it all the time. So behaviorally, they may notice changes. So parents or teachers also will notice behavioral changes. They may not want to do the same activities that they usually like to do. They might be sad. It can affect their school performance. Lack of concentration and forgetfulness is very common as well. They can also have physical symptoms of headache, stomach aches, and otherwise, or trouble waking up. It's really key. I really appreciate when parents bring their kids in to talk to me if they're noticing these symptoms, because it helps me understand what's happening. I'll go through sleep. And kids can also have sleep disorders similar to adults. So it's helpful to get checked out, make sure that's not an issue medically, and we can support you alongside all the great advice Margaret's given around sleep hygiene.
That's amazing. Margaret, before we go, I understand that Sleep Country is donating $100,000 to the Canadian Mental Health Association. Amazing. So this is all to support your campus peer support program. So this program is a post-secondary initiative at campuses right across the country. Tell us more about the program and also how it is helping post-secondary students.
Yeah, we're so grateful to Sleep Country for this tremendous gift. It's the 3rd year that they've made this gift. And the program really trains students to provide support to people with lived experience with mental illness. And it's been tremendously successful. It's in 5 universities across the country. And the students that participate, both the peer supporters and the students who receive the care, talk about what a tremendous boon it is to them. It reduces loneliness, it makes them feel connected at a time of their lives when they're under a great deal of stress. So we thank Sleep Country for this.
That's amazing. And thank you both for all of the insights that you brought to us today. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Remember, sleep is the ultimate study tool. So if you need help getting your child set up for school success, be sure to visit our friends at Sleep Country. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back right after this.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.